I support a number of different operating systems, two of which are Linux distributions. One of those is Linux Mint. And Linux Mint has gained a lot of popularity in the past 10 years because it is a reminder of what Windows used to be like. Think of Linux Mint as feeling kind of like Windows 7 did. It's incredibly simplistic in its design, but it's not simple by any means of the imagination because you can just do so much with it. There's so much functionality. So, a lot of people, since Windows 10 is coming to an end, they're upgrading their systems with this operating system, Linux Mint, so that they can get more life out of their devices. If you choose to do that, I recommend if you had an old HDD, a spinning disk in your computer, upgrading to an SSD. They're not that expensive and they're about 10 times faster than what a hard disk drive are. Let's see. If you do that, you'll get like 10 more years out of your computer. Linux supports so many different devices and computers out there. It's actually what runs your Android phones is Linux. Let's see here. I just saw a news article the other day that said after 28 years, they dropped support for one CPU that they used to have. So that's how long they keep stuff around. Okay, let's jump into it. So Linux Mint, like I said, very simplistic in its design, but its functionality is just off of the charts. So down here's your application launcher menu. You have your three buttons that do your log out, your login, restart, all of that. These right here are favorites, and then your applications are all in here in categories. Okay, you can search for whatever you want. So if I wanted to do Edge, or if I wanted to pull up my support app, TX support-dev, that is this guy right down here. If you ever have any questions, just give me a shout. Go to my webpage, download the installer, and I'll be able to see your side and be able to help you out with whatever problems that you may be having. Like I said, I support a bunch of different operating systems. This one is one of my favorites to support though, because it so rarely has any real problems. It's usually just users asking me, hey, how do I do this one thing inside of this operating system? And then I just give them the tip and it's done. So let's play around with this. We have our file explorer right here, and you have your different views that you can switch to. So if you prefer the grid view with the images, can switch it to that. You're familiar with all of your folders, and you'll notice something. There's no OneDrive on here. So Microsoft did this thing where they just forced OneDrive into everything, the same way that they're forcing AI into everything right now. And OneDrive ticked a lot of people off, me included, because they forced it down our throats, and AI is ticking me off too because they're forcing that down our throats as well. You should know you can have AI on this operating system, but it'll never be integrated into the actual operating system. It'll always be containerized and separate because it's your system and you should be able to choose what happens on this system. Okay, so you're familiar with your regular folders. You have your downloads, your videos, all of that. Let's check out the built-in Office editor. We will open up, let's see. Right there. So we'll do the spreadsheet program first. So this is LibreOffice, and it is the Office suite that is included in most Linux distributions. It's really functional, and if you don't like the look of it, the cool thing about Linux is that you can change the look of everything. Let's go ahead and do that now. So I am going to go to View and User Interface, and I don't like all of these buttons up here at the top, so I am going to switch it to the tabbed view and apply. And there we go. Now everything is categorized in tabs, and it looks kind of like Office does at this point. I'm going to go ahead and switch that back, though, because I operate using this one. Okay, if you are an avid spreadsheet user, Excel user, then you're probably used to using tables. Calc does not support tables, but it does support advanced filters. So I'm going to do Control-Shift over, Control-Shift down, and then I'm going to go to our Data tab, and we're going to do Auto Filters. Cool. Now auto filters are done. I'm going to press Control Home, go up to the top, and I am going to sort by our cities. There we go. Cool. Basically a table. Okay, so that is the spreadsheet application. I'm going to put that over to the side, come over here, and I am going to open up our Document editor. So this looks pretty familiar. Pretty much all of it is the same. If you're used to using Microsoft Word, you're going to feel right at home with this thing. I like it quite a bit. There's a bunch of different plugins too. So if you wanted to, you could actually plug in a AI extension and tell it to write stuff for you. But the cool thing is that you can use either an offline AI that doesn't connect to the internet, or you can use one of those online ones like ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever. All right, I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. And let's say that you don't want to switch over to using the LibreOffice stuff. You're just like married into the Microsoft ecosystem, which, by the way, I am. I use OpenSUSE Linux, and I use Microsoft 365 Office for practically everything. So that's why I have this. Right here is Microsoft Edge. I have it installed. You can install any browser on Linux Mint that you want. So even Microsoft's browser, yes, you can install that. And I've got that right here. So I can operate directly out of the web if I wanted to, or say if I wanted to have a desktop application and I just wanted it to be containerized on here, what I can do is I can come over here, I can click here, and I can go to apps, and I can go to view apps. Oh, I actually already installed Excel on here, so didn't realize that. Let me open that guy up. I was going to show you guys how to install Excel as a web app, Excel, but I already did it. So there we are. There's your Excel spreadsheet program from Microsoft on Linux. Okay, I'm going to close out of that. Mind you, if you're using OneDrive or a Google Drive or Iceberg or Proton Drive or any of those, all of those can sync to any Linux distribution. It just takes somebody like me to set it up for you because it's not built in the same way that it is on Mac OS or on Windows, because Linux is freedom. You have the choice. They don't force stuff down your throats. Okay, let's see here. Let me show you a couple of features. This is installed on one of my Carbon Systems laptops, and I have touchpad gestures enabled. Check that out. So these right here are called workspaces, and I am able to navigate my workspaces just by swiping over to the side. So I can keep all of my work separated on different screens. And if I just swipe 3 fingers down, then it shows, oh, that was a bad example. Here we go. I got more stuff open here. If I swipe 3 fingers down, then it shows me the overview of all of the applications that I have open on that workspace. If I swipe 3 fingers up, then it shows me all of my workspaces, and I can take and grab individual windows and drag them to other workspaces. Okay, let's check out workspace number 3. Oh, by the way, you can actually name these too if you wanted to, so you can call it whatever you want. Okay. On workspace number 3, I went ahead and I put Google Chrome on here, and I logged into my Google account as well. I have like 4 different cloud office suites that I operate out of because I develop on all of them. So yeah. Anyway, if you wanted to, you could use Google Chrome's workspace, Google Workspace on your Linux desktop. And there's actually settings where you can just link your accounts. Let's see, so online accounts. We'll click here. You can link pretty much all of your accounts to this operating system so that you can easily access like your email and stuff like that. Microsoft, I recommend using a web app instead of linking it directly, just because Exchange works differently. So like I've actually got that installed right here, Outlook PWA. That's how I check my email on a Linux distribution. Okay, let's pop out of those online accounts, and I'm going to move on to the next screen. Okay, let's talk applications. Most of the applications that you use on Linux, they're going to be free. That's just the way that it is. The way that these people make money whenever they develop these applications is that they either are selling a additional service, or they just develop this tool and then spread it to the world because it made so much use for everybody else. There are a lot of big companies out there that do all of this, what is called FOSS, free and open source technology. And this is one of my favorite apps right here. It's called KDE Connect, and this connects your phone to your computer. KDE Connect works on Windows, Mac OS, Android, iOS, and let's see. I didn't mention Linux. Yeah, it works on Linux. Okay, so let's play around with this guy. So check this out. I've got KDE Connect connected to my phone here and down to here. Say I lost my phone, I can click here on Find My Device, and boom, there it goes. It rings my phone for me. I use this no less than 3 times a day because I'm always misplacing this dang thing. I just wish that my wallet had a ringer as well, because I separate them all the time. Okay. I won't go into too much detail on the KDE Connect because I have another video about that. I think I'll put it down below so that you guys can see. All right, let's talk applications. I am going to take you through all of the various applications that we have inside of here. You can peruse all of these apps. Every single one of them that you install from here is free. Okay, there are applications that you can do subscriptions to. So like Dropbox, for example, the app is free, but the service, Dropbox itself, which is cloud storage, is not free. You have to pay Dropbox, the company, to store stuff in their cloud. But the app that you install here locally is free. Other apps, like right now, what I am using to make this video is OBS Studio. I've got it off screen on my second screen right now. It's really, really useful. Let's see. Another one of my favorites is this guy right here, Inkscape. And this is what I use to design all of my logos. Actually, the flyer that you were looking at right now there at the chamber banquet, that was created using Inkscape. So let's head over to Inkscape and we'll play around with that. Windows over, and I'm going to do that one over. Let's see, I got a little dog here. I'm going to drag him in and in bed. Okay, we're good there. And then I got whatever this is. I'm going to drag this guy in and boom. If you're familiar with any sort of a vector editing app, then this thing is going to feel really, really familiar to you. And you can see just how fast it works. It's very, very simple and very fluid. There we go. We can turn them upside down. We can do just all kinds of cool stuff with this. And you can export this as a vector graphic, or you can do a PDF, or you can turn it into a picture, whatever you want. This is just one of my favorite open source softwares, and I am always trying to mention it to people. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. Okay. Let's see. We'll talk right down here. So the Linux Mint distribution is more so geared towards people who just want an operating system that is going to get out of their way. It is used for business, but it's not used in an enterprise setting. Enterprise settings, which is like where you want the top of the line operating system that's just not going to fail and it's just always going to work. That is more so up the line of something that Canonical will do, or something like SUSE would do, which is the other distribution that I support. But Mint, it really is just the perfect operating system for your small home office. And it's just easy to use as well. So let me do this. One of my favorite things about Linux is that you do not have to install printers. As long as your printer is on your local network, this will just find it. And that's exactly what happened here. Like, I've got my printer sitting right back there. I didn't install this. It just searched my network, found it, and I'm already good to print. There it goes. And let's see. Are you going to make a fool out of me? Oh, there it is. Oh, I'm out of paper. Okay, that was what that notification was. Media needed. This thing's going to beep at me and ruin my video, guys. All right. Let me mention this last thing, and this is just about the sheer configurability of this system. So I'm going to press Windows D, that's Super D, to get to the desktop. And I want to pull up my settings menu, and I'm just going to show you some of the cool stuff that you can do. So here's hot corners. I have this one enabled. So if I go up to this corner up here, it switches over to the application or to the workplace settings deal, and you can choose whatever you want these things to do. Like you can run a command and all sorts of stuff. For those of you that are hard of seeing, let me go to display, open this guy, and we are going to set this to 200%. There it goes, and you can see how everything looks now. I'm going to switch this guy back to 100%, and we're going to hope that I did not ruin my video. Got to scroll down. There we go. Apply and keep. For some of the older people that I support, I do that so that they can actually use their computer, because you guys know how the new screens are now. They all just kind of make it really, really difficult to be able to see stuff. Okay, let's check out one more little setting. If you go to Reddit and you look up Linux Mint, by the way, there's like an entire group of people that will just show off the crazy stuff that they have done to their desktops. You can take a look at it and see. Okay, let me see. I want to find sticky notes. Notes. Nope. Where am I at here? What is it? Desklets? Yeah, there we go. So we got desklets. I got a little sticky note that I just put there. I want to add another one. Okay. So now I can come in and I can just have a note that is on my desktop. There we go. And save. And there it is. Isn't that nice? Okay. There's a bunch of other ones that you can do too. So like you can come inside of here and say you just wanted to have your Google Calendar always on your desktop, or you wanted to see what the weather is like. You can download that one real quick and manage, and that one, and add. Oh, you went somewhere, didn't you? There you are. All right, and there. Had to grab it from the middle. Okay, so yeah, that's Linux Mint, everybody. There's so much more that you can do with this thing. I can't show all of it inside of a video, but just know that it can do like whatever you think that it's capable of. It can do probably 100 times more than that, because it's just all configurable. And again, I'm able to support it, and I use it daily, and I know the tips and tricks. Anyway, if you have any questions, just feel free to give me a shout. That is txtechnician.com. There we are. Oh, and if you're curious about any sort of technical tips or anything like that, come over to my blog. Check out some of the stuff that I do. I bring attention to a lot of cool applications and such that will just make your life a little bit easier and hopefully make somebody else's life easier too. Have a good day.